This is a presentation of the Oklahoma Sports Network.
Any other use of this telecast, or any pictures, descriptions, or accounts of the game without the Oklahoma Sports Network's consent is prohibited. It may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be used without express written consent.
Hello and welcome, everybody. It's that time again. The OSN Game of the Week is back, and it's a doozy. The number 12 Jones Longhorns visiting the top dog in 3A, the OCS Saints, the house that Blake Griffin built tonight here in Edmond, Oklahoma. Josh Calloway on hand, joined alongside by Jordan Ray. This one's going to be fun. Looking forward to this one. The calendar has shifted. It's February. The games just feel more important. Every team is trying to play their best ball right now as they try to make that run for a championship at the end of the year at the big house for these teams in 3A. Jordan, we're rested. We didn't have our game of the week last week. We got snowed out. We were all set for more Norman North last Friday. Didn't get to have it, so it's been 2 weeks since you and I did that Newcastle Dale double overtime thriller a couple of weeks ago. But I'm ready to go. The calendar has shifted, and like I said, the games just feel more important when the calendar shifts, because like I said, every team is making sure that they're playing their best right now.
Yeah, happy to join you, and I was a little more drained from last week doing the Midwest City, Putnam City North game.
Yeah, you're staying busy.
Yeah, especially that boys game. That was wild. Hopefully we'll have another wild one here. I think what excites me about this is, a few things. One is when you can have two talented post players go at each other, well, considering that I played that position in high school, that definitely gets me going. So, on the one hand, for Jones, they're as healthy as they've been in a long time, and their coach, Coach Ferner, told me that this is the best team he's had when they are healthy. This is the best team he's had since he's been at Jones. And so, at center, they will have Carson May, who's going to play quarterback at the next level at Iowa. So, he's a football guy, but he's going to finish out his basketball career here, and we could see him hopefully compete for some Big Ten games nationally in a few years. So that's pretty crazy, a Division I quarterback. On the other side for OCS, and this is one of the themes we've seen, Josh, in the games we've done together. One of the teams, the home team especially, has an extremely talented sophomore. And for OCS, that sophomore is Luke Gray. And he's a 6'5" sophomore, and he can score in a variety of ways. Right now he's playing in the post for a very seasoned and experienced Saints team that otherwise plays a lot of juniors and seniors, but he can definitely play more on the perimeter if need be. So it should be fun to watch because, again, Jones is healthy. They're an unpredictable team, but they did beat Dale, gave Dale their only loss this season. We saw how good Dale was. OCS, meanwhile, they lost to Dale. They're ranked number 1. So, on paper, OCS has had the better season. But for any one given night, I think this Jones team has the size and the experience to really play with anyone in 3A.
Absolutely. The Jones Longhorns coming to play tonight. They're number 12, and like you said, 11-7. So, on paper, it seems like they're going to need to play, if not their best game of the season, one of their best games of the season to come in here and try to beat number 1 on the road. But you're right. If you look at the schedule, they played very well against their level. 4 of their 7 losses have come to 4A teams playing above their weight. In theory, they have some really good wins under their belt this season. You talk about that Dale win. That was way back at the beginning of the season. They put up 76 points in that game against Dale in that ball game, getting that win at home over the Pirates. I mean, this Jones team can play with just about anybody, and they know that if they come in and do what they need to do, they should have a shot. Meanwhile, OCS, number 1, and they've earned it, 16-4 on the season. They are, just like Jones, playing very well against their level. They're actually undefeated against 3A teams. 2 of their losses came to 4A teams. 2 of their losses came to 2A teams, believe it or not. But this OCS team in 3A play is 8-0 this year, and they're 9-4 against ranked teams. So they've really, proven themselves throughout the year. They've earned this number 1 ranking. But at the same time, although number 1, and while they are deservedly, obviously considered one of the favorites, they're beatable. They have 4 losses, which is, kind of a lot for a number 1 team generally in the state of Oklahoma. And those losses, if you said, have come. They've had some tough go of it. They lost to Cashin, a really good team in overtime. They lost to Heritage Hall, a team that we've had on the Oklahoma Sports Network Game of the Week. They lost to Crossings Christian, but they had a couple nice wins lately, including blowing out a good Prague team last Tuesday night in this building. So it's going to be fun, and I'm excited to see these 2 teams mix it up.
Yeah, and, they're getting tuned up for playoffs coming up. Both teams are hosting.
Yeah, these are good teams. Yeah,
in district play. And so they're going to be teams to watch. Maybe they'll beat against each other again in the big house. And, I know OCS is resting a couple players too. But, I think their coach has a lot of respect for Jones and what Jones is capable of doing. And I think that this is a time of the year where you want to start really pounding home some good habits.
Yeah,
because,
absolutely.
You're going to start to play a really tough schedule here in a couple weeks, and that's where you make your money, if you will.
Absolutely. Like I said, February, that calendar shifts. It's arbitrary, obviously months of the year, but it moves over, and it's the playoff month, and it feels like every team, you're trying to button up and, like you said, create some good habits. Make sure you're playing your best ball right now. This is the time to get hot, and it's a big opportunity for Jones on the road to kind of spark a stretch that maybe carries them into the postseason. Meanwhile, OCS is trying to continue to maintain and get ready to obviously have a big postseason run of their own. Just 4 games left in the regular season for Jones, including tonight. OCS has just 3 left, including tonight. So we're right down the home stretch here. Big game tonight, OCS and Jones, the OSN Game of the Week. All right, we're going to take a timeout here. When we come back, we'll do the starting lineups, and we'll have the basketball. Jones Longhorns, OCS Saints next, right here on the Oklahoma Sports Network.
We come from different backgrounds, with diverse interests and unique learning styles. Finding classes that fit your individual needs isn't a challenge at Cameron University. A small campus and dedicated faculty ensures there's always someone close by to guide you on your journey. Your success is our success. Your education is our mission. At Cameron University, you're not a number, you're part of the family.
Coast Technology Group is your full IT managed service provider, utilizing simple, reliable technology for your home and business. Remote monitoring and management, network infrastructure, and cybersecurity, all with 24/7, 365-day live support. When you partner with CTG, you get the 150 years combined experience of our experts, helping your business grow while keeping your systems secure.
Back here at Oklahoma Christian School, home of the Saints. I mentioned at the top of the house that Blake Griffin built. If you're not familiar, this is the alma mater. Of course, Oklahoma legend Blake Griffin, along with his brother Taylor Griffin. When they were here, Jordan, I'm sure you very well know, 4 state titles with Blake Griffin, 4 years, 4 state titles. I think I saw the overall record with Blake was like 116-6 or something ridiculous like that. Only 6 losses in 4 years.
Yeah, well, it was amazing. And, of course, his dad coached him, who's now an assistant coach at Del City High School, and helped Lenny Hatchett win state title last year. But it was amazing how Blake Griffin, this is back 15 years ago, was able to get a lot of attention nationally, even though he's going to a small school. I think back then OCS was 2A.
Yeah, they were. I was just looking up kind of leading up to this game. They were 3A for his freshman and sophomore year. Then they moved down as if they needed that. And then they were in 2A for his last 2 seasons.
Yeah, so it was interesting. He was able to get the exposure.
You're right, yeah.
Went up against Daniel Orton. In high school, he played against some other good teams. So, yeah, that's crazy to think. This is his gym.
The gym that he rocked the rims in here plenty in his time at OCS. Blake and Taylor Griffin have a nice kind of showcase out in the lobby here. It's an intimate setting here, but I like it at OCS. Small gym, but an intimate one, and one that's obviously seen a lot of good basketball and really great fans here. It's going to be a packed house tonight for this matchup. All right, we'll do starting lineups here. We'll start with the visiting Jones Longhorns. Mentioned they're 11-7 on the year. Number 3 is Landon Loud, a 6'3 senior. Number 10, Spencer Davis, 6'3 junior. Number 14, Luke Huckabee is a 6'3 senior. Number 15, Emmett Murphy, a 6'3 senior. And rounding out the guy you talked about, number 34, Carson May, a 6'5 senior. So a very veteran Jones lineup, 4 seniors, 1 junior. And they are coached by Derek Verner. For OCS, number 3 is Colin Madison. He's a senior. Number 14 is Carter Hodson, a senior as well. Number 22 is Luke Melton. Also a senior, number 24, John McKee, the 4th senior. And then rounding it out is the sophomore who you mentioned, number 25, Luke Gray. And they are coached by Brandon Weaver, who's also the athletic director here at Oklahoma Christian School. Appreciate him helping us get set up throughout the week, getting us all, located, making the arrangements. Meanwhile, he's also preparing his team for games. So always appreciate guys who pull double duty like that. It's hard to do.
By the way, getting a good look at the sophomore sensation for OCS, Luke Gray, and sure enough,
you're seeing why. Yeah, I don't even need to see him play, and I can tell. Yeah,
I cannot believe he's a sophomore.
That's a big kid, and he's going to cause problems. He's going to do the tip up against Carson May, so a fun tip matchup.
Yeah, he ain't just tall. Let's put that one.
Right. No, he's hitting the gym. OCS in the home white with the blue. Jones wearing the road black with some green trim. Thank you so much for being with us. Jordan Ray, Josh Calloway here at OCS. As the Longhorns have the ball first. Driving floater doesn't go. The rebound ripped down by Gray. And we're off and running in the OSN Game of the Week. The first in the month of February. Got the playoffs coming right. We're going to have so much playoff action for you on Oklahoma Sports Network. We'll talk about that a lot throughout the broadcast tonight. But first, a great matchup in the regular season here. A turnover as Gray lost it. And the Longhorns scoop it up.
I think Gray had the right idea to attack the basket. He's got to be aware, though, of the players around him.
3 ball in the corner does not go. That was Huckabee. And so a couple empty possessions from both teams to start this game. Driving here, stop and floater didn't go. It was a good move, just didn't finish it there, was Luke Melton. Teams trading misses early. Just about a minute in now in this Oklahoma Sports Network Game of the Week matchup.
Both teams starting in man.
3 ball on the left side, almost banked in. Not sure if he was calling bank, but he almost got it that way. It was Emmett Murphy, didn't fall for him. Back to the way go the Saints here. Poked away and lost it. Nice active hands there. Poked it away from Hodson. Fast break the other way. Murphy has his shot blocked. It'll go out of bounds and stay at this end. That was a block there from John McKee.
One reason I mentioned that both teams go in man, Coach Weaver at OCS fully expects Jones to show a lot of zone look throughout this game, especially when it comes to defending Luke Gray.
Almost 90 seconds in. Still waiting for our first points. Jones Longhorns, OCS Saints. Here is Murphy on that far side, right in front of the OCS student section, which there's plenty here. A lot of Jones fans made the trip as well. And we have a turnover here. It's a travel.
In that case, Carson May got the ball, spun to the baseline, saw a double team, and he kind of froze with that. Ended up sliding his feet. He's got to be ready for that baseline double team. Post players don't see that very often.
A 3 ball in the corner here. Not going to fall for McKee. Gray tried to get the rebound, couldn't do it. So both teams kind of just feeling each other out here in the first couple minutes. Still looking for our first points. This is Murphy on the left side. They go to the top to Spencer Davis. Back to Murphy. Went to hand it off to Loud. They did a good job getting over to him and kind of block it. That student section right there is on top. From there, a loud and active student section here at OCS. A lot of Jones students made the trip as well. They're kind of on the far corner. Can't really see them in our camera shot. Pull up from the left elbow, Murphy. Halfway down and out. Rebound, Gray. He'll start the break for OCS. Crossover move. Another nice jump step, and he draws the foul. It's not fair to be 6'5", huge, and have some handles.
And be that mobile with the way you move your feet. But
Right.
That's how he got his position there.
Just gliding up and down the court. And Gray will try and put OCS on the board for our first points of the night. Almost 2.5 minutes in. And he'll do just that. Here's your first points. OCS has a 1-0 lead. Mentioned the Saints 16-4 on the season. Jones 11-7. Both these teams hosting the district round of the playoffs. Like Jordan said, Jones will have Little Axe. OCS will have Cassia Hall. That's coming up in just a couple weeks from now. Second free throw's no good, so it'll stay at 1-0. Here goes Murphy back the other direction for the Longhorns. Davis working on McKee. Hands off underneath to Carson May. And now I'll have to back it out. This is Huckabee. Trapped right here in front of us in the corner. He'll fire underneath to Davis. Davis is trapped. He'll have it poked away and save his dribble. Boy, this OCS defense is not giving much anything right now. As I say that, nice move by Davis, but then McKee blocked it. But once it got some body contact, they got the foul.
Yeah, he got all ball, but then there was some body as well as the ball.
And, of course, the Jones student section with a little bit of a sarcastic, you can't do that chant right back. I like it. I like the competing student sections.
One of the oldest chants in basketball.
Right, the oldest time. And you mentioned it before we came on the air, Jordan. Jones is not far from here.
No.
So these two teams know each other well. First free throw's good. We're tied up 1-1. Got our first sub here. A couple of new Saints in the game. Number 2 is Grant Matheny. He's a junior. Also have number 10, Ben Ramsdell, in there, a sophomore.
One thing I'm waiting to see is for Jones, number 3, Landon Loud. We haven't talked about him as that free throw's missed, but he's their leading scorer, and I don't believe he's been very assertive yet on the offensive end. It'll be interesting to see if that changes at some point.
Seems like OCS has done a nice job just blocking him getting the ball. It's another block shot, and here he is on a fast break. Loud to the rim, nice hesitation, and he finishes it.
You can see there why it's a 20-point-per-game score. Very smooth in attacking the basket, under no pressure, feeling no pressure when a defender came near him.
This is McKee going across the lane. Bounce pass underneath. That was a really nice find, but couldn't finish it there was Madison. And Jones has it going back the other way. In the corner, this is Davis. And he'll take it out toward the top. Reset, almost a turnover. Open 3 in the corner here, too much on it. Rebound pulled in by Gray, and that was a bit of a mistake there by May, trying to kind of go through him.
May on Gray there, and yeah, it's the senior May who, you know, he's a quarterback in football. Not a very intelligent foul there. You got to be, you got to know when you're boxed out well and just not worry about that offensive rebound.
It is a 3-man officiating crew today. Don't always see that at the lower levels. Sometimes it can be a little hit or miss.
Well, this is an interesting week of high school basketball. You talked about it some, but they're doing makeup games different throughout the week because of missed games on Friday. Makeup games Monday, even though I think there's one on Wednesday, and probably a few on Thursday as well. You know, in my neck of the woods, Carl Albert played back-to-back games.
Officials are having a conversation at the scorers table right now. I'll be honest with you, I don't know what they're trying to sort out here, but there's some conversations going on, trying to figure out something.
Sometimes there's a problem in the scorebook. Or they want to check what's the correct score, although I can't imagine that's it.
Yeah, hadn't had just a couple free throws in the bucket, but we're back to action. Not sure what it was. Nothing noticeable changed, so we stay 3-1, and OCS basketball down by a deuce. Here's Matheny in the corner over to Madison, underneath to Gray. Gray, tough to the rim, couldn't get it, but he's fouled again. I'm noticing a bit of a theme here as Gray draws fouls and go back to the line for the second time. Foul was on Sweat, number 2 for Jones, who snuck in there. 6'1" senior. Second team foul on Jones. OCS has just one back the other way. Like you mentioned, Jordan, a lot of games obviously snowed out last week. We were set to do Norman North and Moore on Friday night. Our game of the week last week got snowed out, so there's, like you said, lots of games. Lots of games were squeezed in on Saturday, lots of games yesterday, lots of games on Thursday, kind of just everybody making up games all over the place. A jam-packed week right before the playoffs start in just a couple weeks' time in these classes. The smaller classes getting started even next week in A and B.
Yeah, I think OCS had a Saturday game canceled, which I guess smaller schools might schedule that more. I think it was against Mount St. Mary's. I know been to Mount St. Mary's game on a Saturday before.
Block shot there, leads back the way for OCS, just past the midway point of the quarter. Gray underneath, and he is hit and fouled again. And again, I'm noticing a theme as Luke Gray underneath. Right now, Jones the strategy is to be physical with him. So far, it's not really working because he's getting to the line. That one's not going to be a shooting foul, but that's the third foul drawn by just Gray alone. And underneath, McKee got him napping. Oh, a lot of contact there. No whistle. I'm surprised by that. And Jones gets a stop.
Very surprised by how easily McKee got open, and then also surprised at the no call.
Davis will pull up. Murphy is going to take a three ball. Halfway down. He's had a couple tough luck. And that's going to be a travel there on Carson May. It was a nice move. He just kind of lost his balance a little bit. And we got a timeout here by OCS. So 3:22 to go in the first quarter. It's 3-3. Jordan, what are you seeing offensively right now? As both teams, we haven't seen a single field goal, right? I mean, all the points have been at the charity stripe.
Well, except for a layup by
that's right, Landon Loud in the fast break. But other than that, I mean, just one field goal in the first almost 5 minutes here.
Yeah, like you said, it was in the fast break. And that was one of the only transition opportunities either team has had. So it is interesting how they're kind of grinding it out right now early on. And also, for Jones, Carson May, he's had a bit of a rough start here. He's been called for 2 travels, and he had an over-the-back foul on him, which you want to. Those are the type of fouls you can avoid the most. And so it may not be a big deal because it's early, but we'll see if that comes back to him. So we haven't really seen him get going. For Jones, we haven't seen Landon Loud get going besides that layup he had. Meanwhile, for OCS, they're not adjusting yet to the fact that when Gray does get the ball around the paint, Jones is going to have 2 or 3 guys ready to help out.
Right.
So that should lead to someone getting an open shot at some point.
OCS has it back, 3-3. 3:18 and counting to play in this opening quarter. Just getting going, the OSN game of the week. Josh Calloway, Jordan Ray in Edmond, Oklahoma tonight. The OCS Saints and the Jones Longhorns. This is Madison with it. He'll give it up in the corner to Ramsdell. And he tried to find Gray underneath, but he kind of cut to the basket when he wasn't totally expecting him to. And pass goes right out of bounds.
I think we're seeing Jones win healthy, and that's what they are. They're healthy. They play some very good, tight man-to-man defense. And they're making it really hard right now for OCS to get any type of rhythm on offense. And right now, OCS is going to try to change some of that by going with a full-court man.
John McKee tabs out for OCS. Back in goes Carter Hodson. So starter for starter there. And Jones has the ball back, still tied at 3-3. On that far side, that's Justice Rowlett for Jones, number 25, just subbed in. Here's Murphy to the rim. Layup attempt didn't go. That's a third kind of tough luck roll there for Emmett Murphy. This near side rim being unkind to him in the first quarter plus. Here's Gray, spin move, and a nice finish.
Just went away from the double team there. Didn't really look for an open guy. Didn't have to because that wasn't a very strong double team.
Now I got a 5-second violation as Jones can't get it in.
It's a good job for OCS. The basket goes in. They immediately lock into their man on defense as soon as the shot goes in. And that man defense off a make forced a 5-second call.
So 5-3. Melton comes back in for OCS. Almost a 5-second violation right back. Just got it in time. This is Matheny with it. He'll go down the lane, and shot is absolutely swatted. Carson May sent that thing flying. It smacked off that far wall. That's one of the more ferocious blocks I've seen this season.
Well, Matheny someone got open there, but Matheny should not have been attacking that place right there because that's where the big guy was.
Look at Gray with an and one.
That's where Gray was, but Gray, of course, makes up for that mistake by his teammate there by getting an offensive rebound.
Luke Melton somehow, and we've seen it a couple times, got wide open off the inbound. Didn't finish it, but Gray right there to clean it up. And Luke Gray right now doing his thing. I mean, just being a force down low.
He's been the entire offense for OCS so far.
And he can add on at the free throw and complete the three-point play the old-fashioned way. Whistles here.
So for Jones.
Just clarifying that it's one free throw.
Now Carson May is out, and they don't replace him with quite as much size, so that could be a concern going up against Gray. We'll see how the new defenders do, like if it's Luke Huckabee or someone else.
May can't quite complete the three-point play, so it'll stay at 7-3, 2:15 to go in the quarter. Back to the way here goes Jones. Bounce pass off to Rowlett. Now this is Luke Huckabee. Back over to Landon Loud. Trying to get it to go, and just good defense there. May force a tough shot. Fast break here. And a good job by Murphy breaking up that pass underneath as Matheny tried to get it down low to Luke Gray, but knocked out of bounds. Will stay at this end.
Well, some really good footwork on that shot by Landon Loud. He just couldn't make it go in. So right now, Jones is having a problem finishing around the basket. They're getting some good looks, just not making them.
Into the game for OCS for the first time, 15. That's Gannon Roberts. Ooh, it's going to be a foul here called on Emmett Murphy.
Well, he was definitely going for the ball. He got some body on it as well as he went for the ball. That's probably why the refs made the call they did, but that is a tough one.
Yeah, definitely a tough one. Exactly what I was thinking. But it goes against Jones.
And right now, a foul problem for Jones. 16 fouls already.
Yeah, great catch. 16 fouls. So they're in the bonus is OCS for the nearly 10 minutes left in this half. My goodness, only one, meanwhile, called on the Saints. And they have a 4-point lead. Inbound, it goes over the head of Gray. We have more whistles here. There's actually going to be a foul on OCS here. So this is going to be a foul on
no, it's on Jones. It's on Murphy.
Oh, wow, excuse me, yeah. I thought I heard 14 white. I guess I heard that wrong.
Should be a 1-and-1 then, and that's what you hear the horn right there for.
So that's 7 fouls now on Jones. You're right. I thought that foul was on OCS. It was a late foul on Jones. I'm not sure who it was on. You saw it was Murphy. I thought I saw her put up 14, but
they said Murphy. 14 makes more sense because that being
15 is not actually on the floor unless he just subbed out.
Yeah, I didn't catch what he did because he just got the foul before. But Luke Huckabee was denying and locked up with Gray. But I didn't really think there was one guy fouling another there. So, yeah, this is I can see why Coach Werner for Jones not happy with the officiating right now.
Yeah, I mean, 17 fouls against the Longhorns and just one back the other way on the Saints. So far, obviously, the foul game heavily in favor of the home squad.
And most of the fouls have been fouling Gray. So you know that if Jones has the mindset of being physical with Gray, they're going to commit more fouls.
And here's going to be a foul now on OCS.
Yeah.
Actually,
that's the Jones coach upset. Maybe it's
a foul on Jones again.
Foul on Jones.
Wow. That's the 18th foul on Jones. That's the second time that I thought it was on OCS, and it was actually on Jones.
Well, we may see a technical here in a moment.
Yeah, Coach Werner is hot, and he's going right up to the ref, getting right in her face. My goodness, that's one of the more boisterous I've ever seen a coach, honestly.
I'd be interested to see if
I'm surprised we didn't get a technical there, honestly. I've seen.
He might want one.
Yeah, it doesn't matter to me one way or the other, obviously. But I'll say this: I've seen a lot less get one than that. That's really the best way I can put it.
Well, what I didn't see there was what the call was. This is the team with the ball inbounding it, and unless you have an illegal screen, you rarely see a foul called on the team with inbounding the ball. You have to really push off pretty noticeably to get that call, but that's not how it went. And I would be interested to see if anyone who follows Jones basketball if they've ever seen Coach Werner that upset. I wonder if these are especially unique circumstances for that.
Right.
Now, it's an offensive foul, so it won't be free throws for OCS, but still, it's a turnover.
Well, it looks like they're giving Jones the ball at the inbound here, so I'm again very confused at the call.
Yeah, it's not like they threw it out of bounds. You're right.
I'm puzzled by kind of what's gone on.
But it's still Jones' ball. Well,
so the foul was on OCS. They put up a second-team foul. So maybe Coach Werner just had some frustration bubbling over. I don't know. That was a weird sequence.
Yeah, now I'm not sure what he was upset about.
We get back to action here as Jones has it. This is Davis driving the lane. And he draws contact in the foul, and he'll go to the free throw line. So maybe that was just kind of frustration from the previous call and just was waiting for an opening to kind of get upset about it. I don't know. But nevertheless.
So what will be interesting to watch is, do the refs consciously or subconsciously start to even things out? And I'm not saying that's what happened with that foul call right there, but that's why you get upset at the refs. You want things to be evened out. You hope that, again, kind of a subconscious thing that they'll start to do that.
No, absolutely. So he makes them both, does Davis. It's now 9-5 with 1:45 to go in the opening frame. Did a very unusual first quarter here in Edmond. Pass up to Gray. He'll turn around and put it in. Luke Gray is having his way right now. He has all 11, right? He is really doing some work.
Well, no Carson Mayen. There's just no one for Jones physical enough, it looks like, to defend Gray.
Davis will kick it out. This is Clayton Creasy. You haven't seen him yet, number 30. This is going to be a three ball here. That's going to be airballed. Loud will scoop it up and can't put it back. He draws contact in the foul. Justice Rowlett missed the three ball, but Landon Loud scooped it up and then got himself a trip to the free throw line.
Well, Landon Loud needs to become more aggressive. He needs to become more loud, if you will, on offense.
Make it 11-6. Back in here for OCS is Colin Madison, number 3. Also looks like John McKee, 24, came back in. And make it 11-7. So Jones, despite it all, despite the foul trouble and having no answer for Luke Gray, really, they're still obviously right there, just down 4 points as we approach the end of the first quarter.
Now they go with the zone half-court trap. It works.
Pass deflection, but then they got it right back. And missing it was Roberts. Great find for the board. Now Roberts scoops it back up and puts it in. Gannon Roberts, Johnny on the spot, put that one in. But now look at this. Rowlett gets behind the defense. And it's 13-9. I don't know how that happened. I looked down at my sheet. I looked back up, and Rowlett's putting in an easy lay-in.
I didn't catch it. He may have been leaking out because Jones was about to force a turnover.
Here's a long two for McKee. That'll go. All of a sudden, the offense has picked up a little bit. It's now 15-9 OCS. 30 seconds to play in the quarter. Long pass ahead here to Rowlett. He'll go underneath. This is Sweat. Back to Rowlett. Floater is blocked by Gray, but we have a whistle and a foul. I'm not sure where the foul was on that one either.
Now that again is like you feel like if you're on OCS side, kind of a cosmetic foul there. You know what I mean? A makeup foul.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think
there was some contact on the part of Gray, but not much.
Yeah, I think I don't think it's obviously officials maybe favoring one or the other. I think honestly it's just a tightly called game. Not a lot is being let go either way right now. Fouls are starting to even out, like you said. It's 10-5 or 8-5 now. Missed free throw leads to an offensive rebound. Loud can't hit the three. And that might have been a mistake by Roberts trying to save that. I'm not sure who it was off of or going to be off of, but there was no way he was getting it. So it'll stay at this end with 17.8. And Jones can make it a one-score game going to the second quarter. And the new player for OCS, this is 21 Karsten Levings. He'll come in for Gray, get him a little short break.
Yeah, good sub here. Take Gray out on defense for one possession. He already committed a foul just a moment ago.
Inbound to Rowlett, he puts it in and the foul. So that's the sixth foul now on OCS. So Jones is in the bonus for the entire second quarter.
The lesson there is, Josh, you yell at the refs, good things happen.
Apparently.
It was 8-1 or
5 fouls in a row.
8-2 probably at that point, actually, and now it's 8-6. And then only about a couple minutes of game time.
Yeah, I don't think the Jones faithful who had a fair gripe, can really gripe anymore. It's evened out. And the free throw's good, make it 15-13. 15 seconds here for OCS. So they got time, obviously, to try and get something here. Coach Weaver shouting out some instruction.
Gray back in.
This is 14. This is Hodson with it, and we have whistles again. And that's going to be free throws.
Now, see, that's when you got another foul situation. You hate with 5 seconds to go to foul someone and send them to the free throw line when it's not a shooting foul. It's a good sub again to take out Gray. For one thing, you don't want to over the back foul off a missed free throw.
You just don't want a cheapie.
Yeah.
So to the line here is Hodson. So 1-1 because it's the 9th team foul. And he's got the first. Certainly an unusual first quarter. I've had some momentum swings, some weird moments.
See if Jones can get the ball to Loud off like a banana cut off an inbound play.
Free throw doesn't go. Sweat has the ball. We got 3 seconds here. Three-pointer at the buzzer to tie it. It doesn't go. It's a decent look, all things considered, but that's going to end the first quarter. So it's 16-13 in favor of OCS at home. After one, we'll take a timeout, come back for the second quarter right here on the Oklahoma Sports Network.
We come from different backgrounds with diverse interests and unique learning styles. Finding classes that fit your individual needs isn't a challenge at Cameron University. A small campus and dedicated faculty ensures there's always someone close by to guide you on your journey. Your success is our success. Your education is our mission. At Cameron University, you're not a number, you're part of the family.
Back here at OCS, Josh Calloway, Jordan Ray. The OSN game of the week, fun first quarter, is the Saints of OCS, number one team in 3A, leading in favor over Jones, 16-13.
Jones now going with a 2-3 zone. Knew at some point they'd go zone.
It was interesting to see what adjustments we get out of that first quarter end. 3 ball in the corner here from McKee doesn't go. Neither team has hit a shot from behind the arc yet. And it'll stay that way for now. As Longhorns get it back, this is Landon Loud the other way for the Longhorns. Jones down just 3 points. Pass underneath to Loud. He'll kick it back out. This is Creasy. Now Sweat. Rowlett guarded by McKee. Sweat again. Splits the defenders. Did a good job to get there, but didn't finish it off. Now we have more whistles. And I think this is on Jones.
Bad foul off a bad miss. I can only guess that the presence of Gray made Sweat just not sure what to do with the ball when he got all the way to the paint. He couldn't ask for an easier look, but perhaps he was thinking about Gray there. And instead of getting the 2 points, you now send OCS to the free throw line.
Yeah, for 2, because that's the 10th foul on Jones. So put the Saints in the double bonus for the remainder of this first half. Well, they were already there, but you get the idea. 10 fouls now on Jones. As Gray shoots 2, and he's got the first.
And already the double bonus. Gray looks like he's going to, at this point, consistently make his free throws. That's a concern right now. That's where he's done most of his damage is the free throw line. Jones has to figure out a way to be physical with him without fouling, and right now the way the refs are calling it, that seems pretty hard.
Yeah, that's the challenge right now for Jones is finding a way to keep Gray off the free throw line because clearly right now nobody can really handle him. And we have another foul. This one's going to be on OCS. That's going to be free throws the other way for Jones. So it's a foul party. I mean, it's going to be a free throw shooting contest tonight if it continues, down this road.
Well, I wouldn't be surprised if they change how they're calling in the second half.
I see it all the time.
Yeah.
You know, one half is real tight and the other
Yeah.
half loosens up, or vice versa. You do see that all the time.
If we have a second quarter loaded with free throw attempts, and so far looks like we're going to, that could definitely change the ref's approach in the second half.
I mean, I'm looking at it. It's 8:30. This game tipped off a half hour ago. It's only a minute in the second quarter. That tells you the kind of pace we're at right now. Davis makes the first, misses the second. To make it 18-14 is where we sit. We're just about a minute into this second quarter on the OSN Game of the Week. Number 1 in 3A, OCS. Number 12 in 3A, the Jones Longhorns. On the road here, trying to pull an upset. And bad pass there. It worked out for OCS. They ended up keeping it. Trying to force that one to Gray. This is Madison with it. He'll give it up. 3-ball on the left side for Hodson. Doesn't go. Rebound goes out of bounds and will stay at this end.
Well, I like the way this zone looks for Jones. I think if OCS is not going to torch it from the outside, it's a good defense to go with.
In the corner all alone. This is McKee. Not going to go again. Another rebound, though, for OCS. Put back attempt, yes. Nicely done there by Hodson. And the Saints are up to 20 points.
Problem with the zone is defensive rebounding.
And that's a travel, so turn it back over to the Saints. Mentioned a little bit ago, we still haven't had a three-pointer yet in this game. It's been a lot of work done down. It's not actually the painted area here in OCS, but you get the idea. It's still the paint. 6:15 to play in the first half. This is Hodson bringing it up. He'll give it up to Ramsdale. Gives it right back. Now driving. Poked away, and Coach Weaver was upset he didn't take the shot. You could see right when Hodson hit the free throw line, he was kind of all alone and decided to drive. Coach Weaver was slapped his hands together in frustration. He didn't pull up and take that shot.
Even though they're up 6, OCS, they're only scoring if they get to the free throw line.
Yeah.
Or if they get an offensive rebound. That's been almost their entire offense up to this point. I think at some point Coach Weaver is going to be concerned, if he's not already, that they're not really making their initial shots very often.
Yeah, it feels like, honestly, right now, Jones has kind of shot themselves in the foot. Like, if the Longhorns can kind of find it, they have a chance to really get going here. They're only down 5 now after that free throw by Davis.
Well, that missed layup turning into free throws, that's a very significant sequence. That's how this quarter started. But Jones hanging in there.
Free throw no good. Rebound ripped down by Loud. That's a heck of an offensive board off of a free throw. Loud, bounce pass over to Sweat. Back out to Loud in the corner. Give and go. Clack'ems. And just like that, on the first three-pointer of the day, is a 2-point game.
You knew it was just a matter of time before Loud started to make some noise, pun intended.
OCS is doing everything to deny him the ball. And that time, a really good give and go. Got him some space, and he capitalized. Here's McKee driving in the corner. Can answer right back? No. Off the back iron. Long rebound comes out, though. Saved by Melton. And OCS gets themselves another opportunity. Nice find underneath to Melton. Over to Gray. Gray to the rim. Missed the dunk, but they're going to say a foul on Jones from behind. I think on Loud. It was on Loud. He just kind of poked it loose. I couldn't really tell if he got the ball or his arm. It honestly was just a little too quick, but...
Well, you gotta go for the strip in that situation.
And he got it, kind of. I mean, he did, but it just wasn't
just
clean. Yeah.
But again, big problem for Jones. Their initial defense good, but they are not rebounding with that zone. That's a huge problem right now, is giving up offensive rebounds. And it's not just to Gray. Other players from OCS are getting offensive rebounds as well.
Gray makes the first. Try to push this lead back to 2 scores if he can hit this next one.
Meanwhile, we haven't seen Carson May, who's a Division I quarterback.
It's been a while.
We expect to see a lot of him in this game, but I didn't catch if he had 2 fouls when he went out.
I believe he did. They're not putting the fouls on the board here, so kind of keeping up with it a little bit as best I can. But I think he got his second, and Coach Werner just pulled him. See another foul on OCS. I'll tell you what, if you're Coach Werner and May gets his second foul early in the first quarter, and you're thinking, oh boy, they'll only be down 3 right now with missing him all this time. That's a big victory if you can keep it this close until you can get him back in there.
Yeah, and with this foul on OCS, now the Jones team is in the double bonus, the Longhorns. I should not forget that nickname.
Yeah, it's a tough one to have in this state.
They help. It helps them by making sure they wear green and not orange.
That was actually the 9th foul, so it's a 1-and-1.
Jones also not hitting their free throws as consistently.
In the corner here, this is McKee. Ramsdell around the right side to Madison. He gives it right back. McKee with it once more underneath. Left elbow. And nice find to Madison. Just in the game, that's Devin Fisher, number 20, comes right in. Nice pass, gets the assist, and OCS is back up by 5.
That was their best offensive possession probably of the game. That was a great passing there.
Pull-up shot by Davis doesn't go. Loud poked away from behind, but it will be OCS ball. Yeah, how do you like that? Number 20, Devin Fisher, the junior, hadn't played yet, gets in there, I think largely just because of foul trouble. Makes a nice pass, gets an assist. Stay ready.
Well, you got to pick your spots against the zone, and
Yeah.
the more reps you get against it, the better you're going to be. That's why teams don't often stay in the zone very often.
There's Ramsdell, kicks it back out to Madison. He thought about it, gives it back to Ramsdell. Now McKee, he'll pull it for a long 2, airballed it long. Well, possession kept alive. That was again Fisher there. Didn't get the rebound, but he kept it going. Here's Gray underneath, just bully ball, puts it in. And it's a 7-point lead for OCS, their biggest lead of the night so far.
Second chance points. That's been a much bigger story for Jones lately than the foul situation.
Yep. You're right on it. Ever since they went to that zone, they're getting stops, but not really because they're not getting the rebounds. They're getting misses, I should say. Madison pokes that one out of bounds.
The initial defense is good. The second part of the defense, though, getting the defensive rebound and then recovering if you don't get it, not good.
Big possession for Jones, trying to kill this little bit of OCS momentum. As they got, like I said, their biggest lead of the night so far at 7. Here's Davis. Looking for Loud, and that one was punched at him out. It's the second time that Madison got in there and just swatted a ball out of bounds.
Got a little 3-on-3 action there, and 3-8, number 3s. And I think that's important. Try to deny Loud the ball when you can.
That's what they've done a great job of, is just not letting him get the ball. Just denying him. Whenever he gets a little bit of room, he's done a nice job. Deep 3 here doesn't go. That was an interesting pull there by Clayton Creasy.
That's a bad frustration foul.
And you're right.
You want that ball badly. You want to score. You don't want to let this game get out of hand. But then you make things worse when you go for an over-the-back foul you don't need. And one thing I like to say, and you got to be aware of foul situation. Offensive rebounding is a luxury, not a necessity. Defensive rebounding is a necessity. You have to be careful going for the offensive rebound. Sometimes it can come back to bite you.
Mm-hmm. So this is Ramsdale shooting 2. Obviously, they're well in the double bonus now, and it's an 8-point lead for OCS, 26-18. In the game for Jones, that's 23. Luke Hildebrand, a senior, in there for the first time. Both teams kind of having to go real deep on the bench here with all the fouls.
Yeah, both teams' coaches tell me that they feel really good about their depth. And we are seeing in this game, they're giving players come off the bench a chance to play extended minutes.
27-18. Poked away, it's scooped up. This is Creasy with it. He'll hand it off to Loud. Loud, guarded by Madison. He'll pull up at the free throw line. Oh, that's cash. Landon Loud. You can see why he has the offensive numbers he does. Whenever he's able to get the ball, he's made things happen. It doesn't happen often enough. Here's McKee the other way. Tried to bank it in a little too much. And a rebound for Jones and an opportunity to cut in a little bit further. Here's Rowlett. Landed off. This is a long 2 for Creasy. He's got it. 2 quick buckets, and Jones is down just 5. Another turnover. Landon Loud to the rim. He can't finish it. A surprising miss there on the fast break from Loud. And back to the way here goes OCS. Here's Ramsdell. Well, that's a missed opportunity. McKee underneath to Gray. Bully ball blocked by Loud, but another foul, and that was all ball. If the foul is on Loud, that's really tough, and it is. Yikes. Was it body contact? It had to have been, because that was definitely all ball.
Yeah, I couldn't tell. It's a good question. But, you know, another big sequence where Loud had a layup.
That's exactly what
Didn't get
Coach
to go.
Werner is yelling to the official right there. Made that call. All ball. Get rid of his lips.
And then you get free throws on the other end. Gray misses the first, but that's the second problem for Jones. Besides giving up offensive rebounds, they have not been able to finish.
Well, Gray misses both free throws, so Jones comes up, gets away with it, if you will. Here is Davis. A little mini 4 run here for the Longhorns. Can they keep it going? 27-22. There's Davis at the top. Crossover move and drive. Fighting through contact, didn't get to us. You can hear Coach Werner scream, "That's a foul," right as that shot went up.
I thought he was going to call for a travel.
Fisher with it. He'll give it out to McKee. And 2 minutes left to play in the half. Here's Gray, triple teamed. Doesn't matter. Right to the rim, can't finish. Put back attempt, no. Rebound is still loose, and we have whistles and a foul again on Jones. And again, I'm not saying I think he should get one or anything, but it just feels like a matter of time before Coach Werner gets a technical. He has been just wearing the officials out pretty much since the beginning.
Well, what's the call, though?
I'm not sure. I guess they reversed it. I don't know what just happened. The call was definitely on Jones initially. This Fishane crew is kind of having a bit of a rough go with it. They're calling it tight, which is fine. That's how you call it. But we've had a few of these kind of just puzzling plays where it's not really obvious what was called, which not a great thing. I actually have the two coaches coming and talking. I don't think I've ever seen the head coaches go and just chat with each other. Brandon Weaver and Coach Werner are just talking away from the officials.
Well, coaches will chat all the time before a game.
Right.
But during play, not even halftime. That is amazing. And
that was very unusual.
Weird thing is, if you call a foul, I don't know what the call is, because if it's a foul on OCS, it should be free throws for
if it's
Jones.
a foul at all, yeah, you're right. If it's offensive, they wouldn't.
Yeah, but loose ball foul, you would.
Right.
And that's a good call there, that travel. Definitely shuffled his feet.
1:42 to go in the half. We're going back the other way in what has been a very unusual first half here in Edmond.
Yeah, I think sometimes the refs can struggle a bit with consistency.
Mm-hmm.
And I also think this is a small building, so it gets real loud. And that can make things difficult as well. Feels like every fan's just 5 feet from you.
Right. McKee driving, puts it in through contact. Nice finish there by John McKee. And the OCS lead goes back to 7 at 29-22.
Any points OCS can get with Gray on the bench,
yeah,
very much a bonus there.
Poked out of bounds, it'll stay at this end. Oh, now they're going to say OCS ball, actually. Fooled the PA as well. He had it going the other way also. Right in front of that Jones or that OCS student section right there. So OCS gets the benefit of a 50-50 call there. Ramsdale drives, gets it to go, and the foul. It's all going for OCS right now. Every 50-50 is going their way, and there's the technical. It's not going to be on Coach Werner, but on a Jones player. I'm not sure who, but a technical has been assessed to the Longhorns.
Well,
23, so it was on Junior. This is the name I was a little fearful of saying tonight for Jones. Let's let the PA say it.
It's Luke Hillenbrand. It's Jones 23.
Oh, excuse me. I'm sorry. I was looking at the wrong
23. I think he's injured, actually. I had my notes on that.
You're right. I don't see him dressed out. That's my mistake. I just fudged that a little bit.
But when you can tell that your coaches are upset with the refs, it can lead to players also expressing that.
So the bucket obviously does count, and now Ramsdale is going to try and complete three-point play, and then they'll also keep the ball. And he doesn't hit the free throw. Look at another one, obviously. He'll get 2 more, right, for the technical.
No technical.
Oh, another one, and Coach Werner right in the official's face here on the near side.
This started out as a civil conversation between.
Yeah, it really escalated. I wasn't even really keeping tabs on it because it just escalated so quickly. I'll tell you what, a couple weeks ago, Jordan, I was doing the Comanche County tournament on Oklahoma Sports Network, and I had a coach ejection. It was the first time I'd ever seen one. We're heading down a similar path right now. This has been a high-intensity game. Another missed free throw by Ramsdell.
The tough thing for Jones is, they were resting. OCS was resting Gray, and OCS was still scoring without him on there.
Now he's back in.
Yeah, he got his rest. Meanwhile, Jones is their coach decided to play without their big man, Carson May. But this is still going to be a lot of free throws for OCS.
He should still have two more if my count is correct.
Even though they missed the first two. And one of the things about committing a technical, you don't want to commit a technical when they end one, because then at the high school level, the other team will keep the ball.
Right.
So this is also a turnover, essentially.
5 free throws and the ball is essentially what happened on that sequence right there. And he only made 2 of them, so, it could have been worse, I guess. Actually, they're giving him one more. I'm not sure why he has one more.
I lost track of how many he's shooting.
I think that was 5, which would have been 1 for the shot, then 2 for each technical, but... And after all that, it's OCS ball.
Yeah, I think you're right. That seems like 6 free throws.
I thought they gave him an extra one, but because he missed the 2, but then he still made 3.
And they keep the ball. This has been a disastrous ending for Jones. This game is getting out of hand. They got to find a way to stabilize things.
Under a minute here. Great for the big alley-oop. Didn't get it. Somehow didn't go out of bounds there. Leads to a fast break for Jones. Somewhat. OCS gets back. Davis in the corner, round the horn, open 3 ball here. Clock comes. Big shot for Hildebrand.
That will help stabilize things.
That was big. That was really big.
You got to find a way to get stops. And Jones is starting to make some shots around the perimeter.
30 seconds. Fisher thought about it, said he'll give it up. From real deep, Ramsdell. It comes up short. Rebound, McKee. Another offensive rebound, and Madison puts it in. Offensive rebounding, the key for OCS. And they lead by 11 again.
And that has nothing to do with officiating.
Yeah.
It's just not getting the ball like you need to.
10 seconds. This is Creasy with it. He'll go over to Davis. 5 seconds. Guarded by McKee. Davis will drive. Puts it up. Didn't go. Might have got fooled by the students there. And this shot will not count. And it doesn't matter. Didn't go in. And that ends the first half. A wild first half. Crazy calls, technicals, crazy plays. That half kind of had everything, honestly, so far. And it's 36-25 OCS at the end of 16 minutes. All right, don't go anywhere. We'll come back at halftime. Jordan and I will talk about what we saw in that first half as both Coach Weaver and Werner are having a chat with an official right now, right in front of us here. We'll talk about everything we saw in that first half. Talk about what we have coming up on OSN. And try to make sense of the first 2 quarters of this game. Any idea what this could be about, Jordan? Any kind of feel for it? Obviously, before I go to break here, do you think it's just kind of laying out that we need to chill out a little bit?
Yeah. It's to keep the peace. That's what it is. They don't want to throw anyone out. And by the way, I believe an ejection would be an automatic suspension the next game.
Oh, okay.
Now, how much do you care about that when, your seeding has already been figured out, your first-round playoff matchup is already known? I don't know. So,
right.
But still, you obviously care a lot about this game, even though the stakes do not involve, like I said, tournament seeding. So, but that's my guess what the refs are doing. They want to keep the peace.
Well, we'll take a timeout. We'll come back, and we will wrap up what was obviously a wacky first half, and we'll look ahead to the third quarter next, right here on the Oklahoma Sports Network Game of the Week.
We come from different backgrounds, with diverse interests and unique learning styles. Finding classes that fit your individual needs isn't a challenge at Cameron University. A small campus and dedicated faculty ensures there's always someone close by to guide you on your journey. Your success is our success. Your education is our mission. At Cameron University, you're not a number, you're part of the family.
Coast Technology Group is your full IT managed service provider, utilizing simple, reliable technology for your home and business. Remote monitoring and management, network infrastructure, and cybersecurity, all with 24/7, 365-day live support. When you partner with CTG, you get the 150 years combined experience of our experts, helping your business grow while keeping your systems secure.
All right, back here in Edmond at OCS, what was a wild first half, let's put it that way. 36-25, the score in favor of OCS at the end of 2 quarters. Jordan, I don't really know what to make of what we saw. Obviously, OCS is up 11 on the scoreboard, which looks nice, but a lot of that is self-inflicted. Those technicals, the fouls, you know, it could easily be a lot closer, put it that way.
Yeah, the missed shots around the paint. I thought Jones did not finish very well. They missed a lot of layups around the basket. And then when they miss, OCS will get a defensive rebound. And on the other end, when OCS might miss a shot around the basket, they get the offensive rebound, and they either get fouled or they get put back. And so, yeah, when you watch this game, you feel like Jones could be a lot more competitive. You don't come across thinking OCS is the much better team, even though they're ranked number 1. And, you know, also Carson May, who is going to be playing football next year at Iowa as a quarterback. So it'll be interesting to follow his football career. But He was a non-factor in the first half. And we'll see if he was able to play much in the second half, if he can help, if he can kind of come alive there. But Jones could be much more competitive in this game. And, yeah, I think the foul situation, even though it started to even out, still was a bit of a disadvantage ultimately for Jones as well.
So we'll see what can happen in this second half of action. We have a ton of basketball on the Oklahoma Sports Network, even tonight and moving on. If you want to pull up a little bit of double screen action, we have 2 other games on our air right as we speak. Eisenhower, Lawton taking on Ardmore right now. I believe that game is in Lawton, if I'm not mistaken. And they also have Altus and Elk City playing right now as well on OSS. We have a couple other ball games in action. We'll pull up the second screen. I don't recommend you leave this game. I feel like we got some circus left in us here in this Jones OCS tilt. But if you want to get some more basketball for you, that's coming up, obviously, or that's also going on right now. Jordan, you have some games coming up later this week or anything coming up that you want to?
Yes, I do. So if you were following Middale basketball on the Oklahoma Sports Network, you might have seen that we haven't done a Carl Albert game in a while. So we're going to change that. It's been 2 months, almost 2 months. And the games we want to do just involve Midwest City or Del City since then. But like I said, it's going to change. So on Friday, they're going to host El Reno. It's going to be 1 versus 2 for the girls' game, as they're the top 2 seeds on the west side. So when I say 1 versus 2, I mean west side.
Yeah, they split the
5A.
rankings up this year, yeah.
So that's going to be El Reno, who's been great in girls' basketball. They made the semis. I think they had called one of their games.
I did, yeah. I did their quarterfinal game last year. I can't remember who they played. Shawnee, maybe?
I thought it was Lawton MacArthur.
You're right. I did see Shawnee also. Yeah. All those games run together. You know how you do all those games right in a row, but I did see them a year ago.
I was very impressed that they were able to win that game because Lawton MacArthur was red hot heading into that 5A girls tournament. So anyway, El Reno was a semifinalist in 5A last year. Carl Albert is #1 ranked team in 5A throughout this season. The boys' side could be very interesting as well. El Reno not quite as consistent. Carl Albert boys ranked #2. But I will say this for El Reno, they beat Kingfisher. And so that might have been Kingfisher's only loss. I have to double check that. But an impressive win either way.
Yeah, you're right. Actually, I looked into, obviously we have our OSN game of the week that we do each week. And El Reno, I want to say El Reno and Noble, maybe we considered whenever that was. I remember seeing that, El Reno, and that had knocked off Kingfisher, believe it or not.
Well, you know, the interesting thing about Noble, so that's the game we have Friday. Next Friday, by the way, we'll have Carl Albert in Del City. So that's always an interesting matchup between two intra-district teams. But the interesting thing about Noble, the boys team, coached by former Midwest City coach Dwayne Bradley, and he actually is a Del City graduate, and I think they'll be opening up at Del City, and we could see a Del City matchup against Noble in the second round. Maybe I think they play Guthrie the first round. Talking about Noble, so that will be interesting to watch. But those are some games we're looking forward to. We hope to have a lot of playoff basketball for you as well.
That's exactly what I was going to say, was keep up with obviously Oklahoma Sports Network on Facebook and oksportsnet.com. Check the app regularly.
Yeah, the other thing is when we start to broadcast those games, El Reno, Carl Albert, we will show you the 5A brackets, and there's going to be some real interesting matchups coming up in a couple weeks. Yep,
so we're going to have lots of playoff action for you on the Oklahoma Sports Network coming up, obviously, very, very soon. So, again, be sure to keep up with oksportsnet.com. It's right there on the score bug right there at the bottom of your screen. And, of course, the OSN app, the Oklahoma Sports Network Facebook page to make sure that you know all what's coming up on the Oklahoma Sports Network. We've had lots of great basketball this season. It's been an awesome season, and we look forward to keeping that going into the postseason here over the next few weeks, all the way up to obviously championship games at the Lloyd Noble Center potentially. So we'll see if some Mid-Del schools can be there. Certainly expect some to be there, and we're going to follow them the whole way to the LNC. Looking forward to all that. So we'll take a timeout here. We'll come back, and it'll be time for the second half. So one last break, and then we'll get the second half started next right here on the Oklahoma Sports Network.
Coast Technology Group is your full IT managed service provider, utilizing simple, reliable technology for your home and business. Remote monitoring and management, network infrastructure, and cybersecurity, all with 24/7, 365-day live support. When you partner with CTG, you get the 150 years combined experience of our experts, helping your business grow while keeping your systems secure.
Time for the second half in our OSN Game of the Week. It's the Jones Longhorns and the OCS Saints on a wonderful Tuesday night. Much better weather than what we had a few days ago. Going to get up in the high 60s this week. Unbelievable. Oklahoma weather at its finest. Had games snowed out just a few days ago. Today it's borderline spring weather. That's kind of how the state works as we get back to the action here in this third quarter. 3-ball in the corner for Jones. Little too much on it. That was Huckabee taking that shot. And the Saints will have it going back to the way, up by 11. This is Hodson with it. He'll go over to Gray. Haven't seen him take a three yet. Ooh.
You know he wants to be a guard. Most big men do. I can tell you from experience, I did too.
He does have some fluidity and some nice handles to his game. So that shot doesn't go. He gets the rebound. And back to we go the Saints. So Jones, a couple missed opportunities. Feels like they can't really afford to have too many empty trips. They want to try and cut into this thing, make it more manageable for that fourth quarter. And it's going to be a travel called on Luke Gray.
It's kind of how he started the first half with a turnover. I'll tell you this, if he wants to play on the high post, that's fine, but he needs to be ready. Jones is going to collapse on him if he starts to attack the paint from the high post.
This is Landon Loud with the ball for Jones. Can he get going? Maybe a massive key for the Longhorns if they want to try and work their way back in this. Here's Davis. spin around shot. Really difficult shot, but he makes it. And lead back down to single digits at 36-27.
So Carson May back in for Davis. We'll see how he can do defending Gray.
Underneath to Gray. And, oh, he didn't get it to go. It was a good contest by May. I'm not sure if it was partially blocked or what happened exactly there, but it's a stop.
Take that back. Good recovery there by May after initially letting Gray catch the ball too close to the paint. And then we got a foul on OCS. So one of the most interesting things to look forward to for this half is how will the game be called?
Absolutely. And you can also see Coach Werner planted to his seat. I believe that's like an automatic after one technical. You can't really stand as much anymore.
Yeah, you're supposed to stay in your seat. I don't know how well that's enforced.
As I say that, he's standing now, of course, right on cue. In the corner, this is May. Up to the top, Huckabee. Now over to Davis at the top. Davis will drive the lane. And we have whistles and another foul here called. It's going to be on OC. Nope, not on OCS. I saw Davis start to celebrate a little bit prematurely. It kind of fooled me. And the foul goes on Jones. We've basically had a "you can't do that" chant on every foul tonight as well, which, if you've been watching, has been a lot. I respect the commitment to doing it every time from both teams. Here's Melton on the elbow. Kick out to McKee. He'll hand off to Hodson. Back out McKee. Open three ball on the right wing. Clackums. Had a great view of that. It was right on the money. And it's a 12-point lead for OCS.
Such an important shot for OCS because Jones is going to collapse in their 2-3 zone. OCS needs to hit some of those threes.
Miscommunication here, and Loud throws it right out of bounds. So it'll go back over to OCS, who leads by 12 with 5:47 to go in the third. Kind of danger zone right now for the Longhorns. If they want to have a shot here, they got to find a way to button things up and work your way. And I think, kind of feels like single digits is a must going into the fourth quarter.
And just like that, Jones back in the man-to-man defense.
Here's Melton. He'll hand it off to Hodson. Nice move. Kick out in the corner. Melton for three. Clackums again. That one was pure. And it's a 15-point lead for the Saints, their biggest of the night.
I'm not sure if OCS hit a three in the first half. And just like that, they hit two to start the third quarter.
Starting to look like the number one team in 3A right now are these Saints. Really enforcing their will. Here's May underneath. Tough floater, didn't go. Rebound nicely ripped down by McKee. Saints get another stop. Here's Hodson the other way. Trapped on the baseline. Bounce pass off to Madison. Round the horn to Melton. Can he go two in a row? He does! Melton bangs it home. It's a 9-0 run for the Saints since Jones cut the deficit to 9. They lead by 18, and it's a timeout taken by the Longhorns as this game is teetering on the brink of getting away from them if it hasn't already, down 18.
Now, last game I called, PC North Midwest City, PC North could not protect their 18-point lead. But that was against the home team. I don't know if that made any difference. For Jones, they got to figure something out on offense right now. They're not able to get the inside looks they need. And OCS has finally hit their stride shooting threes, which they didn't do in the first half. I guess that's another thing about how significant that first half was. OCS had a solid lead even though they weren't really shooting well from the outside. Now they are, and it's going to be that much harder for Jones.
Jones got that bucket to make it 36-27, and it felt like, okay, Longhorns down 9. They're right there. Kind of one good move, a little run from narrowing it. 3 straight threes by OCS in response. 2 of them hit by Luke Melton, and the lead is ballooned to 18. Jones needs a bucket in a bad way. Here's Murphy, long 2, not going to go. Rebound pulled in by Gray, and right now, offense just looks hard for Jones. Melton hits 2 in a row. They're daring him to shoot again. This time it doesn't go. That was a heat check. Didn't fall. Back the other way go the Longhorns. This is Huckabee with it on that far corner. And kick ball right back to him. Knock on wood here, but it does feel a little more free-flowing. Just 1 foul each way in the first half quarter.
Yeah, here's another pun, but it's still a necessary one. Loud need to make some noise.
Yeah, you got to take over at this point. You need big-time offense. Here he is trying. Almost banked in the 3. Not sure if he was going for that, but here's Gray. Oh, what a catch, ripping that down, and then he puts it in. That's just big man putting in work. It's an 11-0 run for OCS. They lead by 20. Here's Davis across the lane, batted away by Gray. Now he's going to run it down. Oh, he almost saved it. That man in the front row saw his life flash before his eyes with Luke Gray coming in hot. That's not the guy you want colliding into you.
That's a man-child there. And the thing is, when he catches the ball around the basket, you got to try to strip him, or else once he goes up, you can't stop what he's going to do at that point.
And this ball's going to go right off the legs there of Huckabee. And you can see Jones, players starting to kind of, the shoulders starting to sag a little bit of some frustration from just
they've had a couple turnovers.
Several possessions in a row.
There's another possession where I thought they got away with a travel. They're just not playing in much sync right now.
Here's McKee across the lane, right to the rim, can't finish it. Gray put back. He's a monster. 49-27. It's a 13-0 run for OCS.
So meanwhile, for Jones, their defensive rebounding problems are still there. That has not changed yet.
That shot won't go. It was a decent look for Davis, just didn't hit it. Fast break again. Here's Gray to the rim. Oh, he tried to hammer it home, didn't finish it. Rebound, though, again, OCS. Gray's going to try again. He's blocked by May. What a rejection by Carson May. Jones still showing some fight. Here's Huckabee for three. Not going to go. Felt like that was maybe a small chance to see some momentum. Didn't happen, though. Here's McKee. Floater to Gray. Gray won't get it. And we have whistles and a foul.
I'll be interested to see who that foul's on.
Looks like it's on Huckabee.
Yeah, it's on Huckabee. Okay, so Huckabee was kind of boxing out Gray when he caught it, so that's what they're going to call the foul on because May got all ball there. Problem for Jones is they're taking a lot of contested jump shots, too. They got to figure out a way to get to the paint or get some type of separation from the Saints defenders. And the lead's now big enough for the OCS coach Weaver, to make a lot of subs.
Yeah, Weaver subbing a lot of guys out. Like you said earlier, OCS knows where they're going. They're number one. They feel comfortable in their postseason draw. So while you want to be playing your best basketball, you also don't want to push your luck. If you get a big lead, probably pull your starters for the most part. And that's a little bit what he's doing now. We may still see them again, but what a night for Luke Gray. Kind of sporadic, kind of was quiet for a while, but that last few sequences about as dominant of a stretch as you'll see in high school hoops. There was nothing Jones could do with them. Now down 24. It's a 15-0 run for the Saints right now they're on. Here's Loud driving. He'll pull up, tried to bank it, no. Rebound pulled in by Gannon Roberts. Start the break. This is Matheny. In the corner, McKee wide open. This is a great find. Oh, halfway down, put back from Roberts. He was right there, didn't finish. And a tie-up jump ball arrow favors OCS, so why not? They'll get another try. Well, that was a great pass to McKee in the corner, and the shot looked good. He just rolled out.
It's one thing to give up an open three, but then you're not having nearly enough bodies around the paint for the defensive rebound.
Yeah. Rebounding has killed Jones in this game, and it seems like it's positioning more than anything. Here's Ramsdell driving. Floater won't go. But he draws the contact and the foul.
Foul on Murphy there, but I think that's a fair call. There was a lot of body contact on that. Fourth foul on Murphy, though. Jones relies on him a lot to handle the basketball.
Now it's going to come up short.
And Jones has been stuck on 27 for a while.
Yeah, it's been a long scoreless drought. 15-0 run. And it's crazy because, like we said, I mean, they hit that bucket, you cut the lead to 9, and it felt like Jones was still right there, but those three balls really kind of just put Jones away in a sense. They gotta, I mean, it's going to take a massive run now. Never know in basketball, but it's going to take a lot now.
Felt like the two teams were even at halftime as far as ability.
For
sure. The score was not. It was just a matter of Jones was making some mistakes. Now OCS is making threes, and they don't look anything close to even at the moment. And Jones looks tired. When they don't make a shot, when you go a long stretch without making shots, it is mentally fatiguing. Doesn't matter how good shape you're in.
Mentioned it right at the top, if you missed it, OCS 16-4 this season, but they're undefeated in their class at 3A. Off the back iron, no good. And a second chance here for Jones this time. to the rim. Oh, boy, that was a great look and just couldn't finish it. It's kind of when you know it's not your night, as Rowlett couldn't get it to fall. A stoppage here for Loud to get his shoe back on.
Yeah, so I've talked about Jones turning the ball over. They've also attempted some contested jumpers that probably aren't good shots. And then there's been a few of those. Great possessions, great shots. You get a layup, and you just can't finish. That was a problem for them in the first half, and that's why this game's getting away from them right now.
52-27 in the corner here. This is Gannon Roberts. He thought about it. Instead of give it up underneath to Murphy. Here's a three ball. That's not going to fall. Rebound pulled in, though. Matheny got his own miss. Kick out to Ramsdell. Did a rocket pass underneath to Karsten Levings. Couldn't hang on to it.
That's a case where if you're Cameron Sweat for Jones or anyone, you got to box out the shooter if you're in that area. OCS got another offensive rebound because of that. They didn't score on that one, but that's part of the positioning problem you're talking about.
Here's Loud. And the Longhorns find a way to break this drought. I don't know how long it's been, but it's been at least 4 or 5, maybe 6 minutes. It's been a long time. They had 25 at halftime. So just one bucket in this third quarter. We have a whistle and a foul here on OCS. It's on Ramsdell.
There's again Carson May getting the ball in the post and then having to deal with a double team from the baseline, which can be a bit unconventional. And if you're not used to it, you're not going to know what to do exactly with the ball. And he got bailed out with a foul call, though, so it didn't matter in this case.
Loud on the left wing. He'll drive. He's guarded by Matheny. He'll have to give it up. Rocket pass underneath.
Almost worked by the quarterback.
It got to him, but he wasn't ready for it. There was 25 Rowlett. Fast break here for OCS. Can't finish it. Their offense has gotten a little stagnant without Gray. Here's Loud the other way. Through contact, can't finish, but he'll go to the line. So try to break this scoreless drought here will Mr. Landon Loud.
Yeah, that's been another issue. Landon Loud never really got going. Carson May never really got going. There's a lot of reasons actually for Jones to just look at this game as just one of those games that you got a lot of rough breaks. Just move on.
Yeah, I'm with you. I mean, I would be interested in these two teams playing again. You know, maybe a change of venue, neutral site, or obviously in Jones.
Like the big house.
Yeah.
That could be.
I'm on board.
Could happen.
I'm on board.
They could absolutely play again in the big house.
I'm on board because I'm with you. I don't feel like the disparity in these two teams is what the scoreboard is right now. I just kind of, like I said, a lot went against Jones, and sometimes you get caught in an avalanche on the road. They hit 3 threes in a row, you know. Sometimes it just gets away from you. 30 seconds to play in the quarter. This is Fisher. Rocket pass in the corner. Gannon Roberts for 3. Clackums! That's when you just know. As Roberts puts one down, it's 55-28. It's a 19-1 run. Here's Loud driving the lane. Feed off. Nice pass and a good finish. And putting that home was Rowlett. That was a really good pass by Loud.
And finally, the streak ends.
Roberts, a deep 3 at the buzzer, is going to come up just short. And that will end the third quarter. It's all OCS tonight, 55-30 at the end of 3. Take one more timeout. We'll come back for the fourth quarter. Up next, right here on the Oklahoma Sports Network.
Coast Technology Group is your full IT managed service provider, utilizing simple, reliable technology for your home and business. Remote monitoring and management, network infrastructure, and cybersecurity, all with 24/7, 365-day live support. When you partner with CTG, you get the 150 years combined experience of our experts, helping your business grow while keeping your systems secure.
Back to action here at OCS. A nice feed there, puts it in. A good start to the quarter for Jones. Makes it 55-32.
Coach Weaver not taking any chances. He's bringing Gray back in.
Like we said, you don't want to take too many chances in terms of accidentally getting a guy injured or something, but you also want to make sure you button everything up for the playoffs, which is coming up real soon.
Yep, makes total sense.
Have a
Teams
foul
can
here.
go on a run in a hurry. Things can change. Shots start falling on one side, not on the other. But like we're talking about with Jones a moment ago, I don't think we saw the best we can see from the Longhorns. I think they're definitely capable of playing better. I don't think it was an effort mistake either. That'd be more concerning if it was.
That's it over the back on Gray.
It's one thing as a sophomore, for anyone following OCS in the playoffs, Gray's got to be careful with those over-the-back fouls. He wants to get every offensive rebound. I get that. I'm sure Blake Griffin was a lot like that. Just want to be careful doing it when you're in foul
for
trouble.
sure. It's a great point. I mean, nothing really lends you to being upset quite like your best player getting in some early foul trouble. So I agree with you completely. Also, be careful with that. That's part of being a sophomore. Here he is in fast break. Gray to the rim, and he hammers it. Sophomores are not supposed to do that. 57-32, and the shot back the other end. That was loud.
Yeah, that dunk by Gray was so easy.
Yeah, that was, exactly. McKee for three, Clackums. Boy, this OCS team, you would never know they had offensive struggles back in that first quarter. It is free-flowing, hitting shots right now, getting rebounds. It just looks good. Getting on the floor, up 26 in the fourth, is Colin Madison, the senior.
Yeah, give credit for Madison. Up 25, diving for that ball.
Yeah, absolutely. I love that.
Well, Loud did not. I don't know what the controversy here is, though. But, again, it's got Coach Werner giving the death stare. They call a jump ball on that.
Interesting. Kind of a late change. We've had a few of that tonight. You don't see that often. Kind of calls get changed. We've had that a few times of kind of calling the floor, talk it over, change it. Which I give credit to the officials being willing to do that.
Thing is, when it happens, almost every time it's been against Jones, and that's what there's probably a lot more tension right now in this game if it wasn't for the fact that's become a blowout now.
6:40 to play. 60-34. OCS in command. Josh Calloway on hand, joined alongside by Jordan Ray. Alley-oop to Gray! Put it in!
You can see that coming a mile away when he is just behind the defense on a 2-3 zone like that.
Gray's got some bunnies. I mean, he's 6'5", and now a block, but they're going to call a foul. Obviously, he's 6'5", so he's big, but he's dunking with ease. I mean, he's got plenty of height on these leaps to hammer it home. A little Blake Griffin-esque, if you will.
Yes, it is. He was not happy with that foul called. But, that's when you want to be like, I don't think I fouled him, but we're up 28 points in the fourth quarter. And now he's going to go ahead and, I'm guessing, come out for the final time.
He was tremendous tonight. We talked about him in pregame. Excited to see him, and he was the part. A lot of fun to watch, Luke Gray. I'm excited to see what he can do in the postseason.
And then for 2 more years.
And for 2 more years. That's a guy that just needs to be playing basketball at the big house. And obviously you expect OCS will very, very possibly get that opportunity here in a few weeks.
This is the 3rd game we've done with a really talented sophomore playing for the home team. And first was Dylan Warlick, Redmond North. And, the OCS coach, Coach Weaver, told me that they actually play against each other in AAU ball and stuff like that. We've seen another 3 made by OCS.
McKee bangs home another one, and OCS has just gotten red hot from deep. They've more than doubled their first quarter. Oh, no, that's not true. They're getting close, but they have just really caught fire from deep in this second half.
You're going to see more subs for OCS here in a moment. Probably the 3rd team, a lot of them. But what I was going to say is if you can just tell me, just contact me any way you can, that this won't be during the season, but that Dylan Warlick is going to be playing in a basketball game against Gray, Luke Gray.
Yeah.
I'll pay money to go watch that.
I want to see it. I want to see it. I'll tell you what, too, as that shot from Loud goes in, looking at, and we can talk about it real briefly in the post-game wrap-up, but there's a game coming up on OCS schedule, their final game of the season. I would pay money to see it. They play Bethany here, and obviously Bethany, Michael Wooldridge, 6'10", I believe. Him and Gray just banging down low. It's going to be a sight to see. I think that's next Tuesday, right back here at OCS. I'll confirm that on their schedule, but that's going to be a fascinating matchup.
That would be. I know his dad.
Bethany's had an odd season. They start off really highly ranked, went on a really tough stretch of their schedule, lost some games, kind of fell down close to 500, fell out of the rankings, but now they've been winning more the last couple of weeks, getting back in the rankings. They're an interesting team. I don't think most people are going to want to see them in 4A. That's going to be a really fun game when they play OCS next week.
Good block there by Carson. They were starting to see that athleticism we couldn't see as much of because he was in foul trouble in the first half.
Yeah, OCS done a really good job neutralizing May. And it's going to be a foul on OCS. It's really maybe if you want to boil it down to kind of one thing is OCS took Jones' best player away, and Jones really wasn't able to do the same the other way.
No, in fact, when Gray went out for OCS at the end of the first half, they actually went on a bit of a run there. That's when the technical foul called. There's Coach Weaver.
And Coach Weaver, who's also the athletic director, remember. He's double duty, going over to the student section. Something happened over there he didn't like.
He's throwing someone out.
He just ejected a kid.
That kid said the magic words.
Wow, I haven't seen that. So Coach Weaver, who's also the AD, great guy. Obviously, we both talked to him this week. He was extremely helpful in getting us set up. He gave a student the boot. I've never seen that.
Student just went right away.
I'm guessing that has happened before because that was very smooth. Anyway, back to action. Three ball doesn't go. Just walked right over, said, "You," and he left. That was kind of it. Here's Fisher the other way. Left-hand pass as we're under 5 minutes ago.
We can't forget the pressure you can be under when you have Christian in your name.
Right.
I'm very familiar with that. I went to Lawton Christian School a long time ago. But when you're playing for a private school or you're a fan of a private school, you're expected to handle things a certain way. And I'm not saying you wouldn't see that at public school, as I've been teaching in a public school for years. But definitely at a private school,
for sure,
you make sure about that.
A little bit of a higher bar.
Yeah.
That kind of thing.
And again, the other thing is this small gym.
Oh, yeah.
Definitely.
He heard it.
Magnifies things.
Yeah. He heard it and he knew where it came from. That was a smooth, that was just a bye.
This is easily the smallest gym we've been at.
Oh, for sure. This is definitely, we were warned coming in, which was funny. Coach Weaver, who obviously, like I said, is the athletic director, we're making arrangements here at OCS. He kind of warned us, said it might be kind of a tight squeeze for you guys. You're welcome to come do the game. Might be a tight squeeze. But we said, hey, we'll do it. We're on board to come to the small school still. And
there is no second level. Usually we equip somewhere at the second level of a gym.
Yeah, that far side you can see on the broadcast. It's not like one side. It's equal, and that's what the other side looks like as well. An intimate setting, like I said, here at OCS. Took me a second to find. Do you have a hard time finding it? I got a little sidetrack.
Yes.
Couldn't find it.
Well, like I was telling you off air, I'm running camera right now. I actually work as a camera operator.
Right, okay, yeah.
Nearby. But I didn't know precisely where this gym was because I hadn't been here in years, so I kind of forgot. And Sunday, as I was going to church, I decided to spend the extra time driving around this campus to make sure. But it took me a while. There's so many buildings around here.
Right, because they're all over here. The high school, the mid-high school.
Yep, elementary.
Which is what the gym is right by, is that shot goes in.
There's a couple buildings that
game.
Look big enough from a distance to be the gym, and this is not a big gym either, so all the buildings look like they're close to the same size. So it is a bit of a challenge to find it at first.
Yeah, I'm not sure what building it is. It's kind of up on the hill over here. That's the one I actually went over to first. Went up there, got the old doors locked treatment. Had to go back to my car with my tail between my legs. And eventually figured out, it's down here.
That could have been Life Church, actually. I'm I'm guessing it wasn't.
No, it wasn't. Because they have the big high school, and all the athletics are behind it, the football field and everything. So it wasn't the high school. So I don't know what that building is. It might be like a performing arts center or something. It was a big, nice building. I thought, oh, this might be it. But we eventually figured it out.
The football team has a indoor facility, not to practice in, but for like locker rooms and stuff like that. And, you know, I wonder if there's space if they ever wanted to have a bigger stadium, but, you know, not that they need to. But OCS has, you know, I think private schools, they only get popular, especially around here. So I always wonder if OCS would ever want to, if they ever have the resource to get a bigger gymnasium.
Well, I mean, this is a basketball powerhouse in Oklahoma. We talked about Blake Griffin went here. This is a team that's got championships, plural. Lots of rings here. You can see the banners in various sports, obviously, going all over the place here. It's a school that's very good at athletics, kind of across the board. So.
Now, we can't forget we mentioned Blake Griffin, his dad being the coach here, very successful. Tommy Griffin. Yeah,
obviously his brother was a very good player as well.
And Taylor Griffin,
yeah.
And Tommy Griffin still coaching. And I hate to say this on the air, but I believe he's in his early 70s, but he looks in great shape.
Right.
When I go watch him coach at Del City.
Sweat in the corner here, driving the baseline.
We'll have some Del City games coming up on the OSN, of course.
Pass goes out of bounds, so it'll turn it over. 3:33 to go. Appreciate you sticking it with us here on the Oklahoma Sports Network Game of the Week. Don't believe we'll have one next week. I'm tied up a little bit, so this will probably be the final regular season edition of the OSN Game of the Week. We'll see if something falls in our lap, but obviously lots of basketball still on OSN later this week and next week, and the playoffs are right around the corner. So lots of basketball for you on OSN. Great time for it. In the game here for Jones, this is number 13, Michael Gall with it. Want to make sure to get him in there. 5'9" sophomore. He has the basketball. Also, that's 22, Brinley Sanders. He's driving, and he'll float it. Won't go. Sweat gets on the floor, diving after it.
It's an interesting contrast between the boys' team at OCS and the girls. The girls, I think they only had 7 players.
Yeah, they were very, very thin.
Meanwhile, the boys just put in another round of subs.
Yeah, it's like they can't empty their pockets more enough.
And they have a couple players injured, by the way, talking about OCS. So
got number 5's Noah Morris just came in, and number 12, Tyler Charlson just came in. So a couple more players for OCS getting in there for the first time. Also number 11, Connor Owens. He's a sophomore. So
they got a lot of players on the boys' side.
A lot of new guys in there. Got a tie up here as Sanders. The Jones Lady Longhorns, one of the best teams in 3A on the other side.
Yeah, we
came in here and got a big win over OCS, the game that was on this floor right before we went on the air. It'll stay at this end with the Saints. Just 2:26 left.
Right now, if you're playing, you want to do something to make a good impression on your coach.
Right.
And it doesn't have to be with scoring. Just some good, fundamental, intelligent basketball. Show your coach that they can trust you to play some meaningful minutes in another game this season. In fact, not even thinking about next season. Although a lot of these players, of course, are underclassmen.
You never know. When you're going to get called upon, injuries, big foul trouble. Could happen. Obviously, we're deep on the roster. OCS, like we said, lots of guys on this team, but crazier things happen than that. As the 3-ball doesn't go for Creasy, we're down to the final 2 minutes. 68-40 OCS. And a foul here is going to send Noah Morris to the free throw line with $1:55 to go.
Of course, both these teams will be hosting round 1 of the playoffs.
Yeah, we'll talk about that a touch in the post game, where these two teams are playing. Like you said, they're both at home. Know their opponents in the district round, which, if you're unfamiliar with the classes, that's not an elimination. That really just kind of sets you up for your path at regionals, if you will. Obviously, it makes a big difference. It's certainly important. Don't get me wrong. It's very important, but it's not a elimination your season goes on either way. But if you win districts, you're in a lot better shape to get to area than as opposed to if you lose your district game.
Yeah, I got to say, it took me a moment to figure out how they do 5A and 6A, because those are 32-team playoffs. 3A and 4A, I'm not totally sure yet. I'd have to
It's a little
do
different.
some internet
It's a little
digging.
different. And
Yeah.
what's odd about it, and what can kind of put your brain in a bit of a pretzel, is that the boys and girls play the same teams in the district round across the board.
That does put me in a pretzel.
So it's kind of like a seeding both situation. It's odd. It's odd, and I've done teams I've done basketball for in the past. Chickasha, I did their games for a long time, and it would be sometimes that the boys would really catch a break with who they're playing, and the girls got unlucky, or vice versa, and that would happen. It's usually a team that's relatively close to you. They don't send you real far for districts. They kind of just find good matchups. It's different. It's very different.
Now, those games start earlier in the week than 5A and 6A, because the 5A, 6A first rounds will be February, starting with the girls February 24th. It's on a Thursday. Boys on a Friday.
That's regionals for 5A,
Yes.
6A?
It's regional first round action. And those are single elimination games.
Yeah, district is not elimination. And then also, if you win district, you do have a buffer loss still built in going into regional. So it's kind of like a true double elimination in those first two rounds in 3A and 4A and 2A. It's a little different. You have to kind of get used to all the classes do it differently. Obviously, it's not like football where obviously the bracket size are different, but it's just straightforward, just straight bracket. You have to kind of figure out what you're looking at a little bit.
And the real small classes, they start a little earlier.
Deep 3. Yeah, they start next week, Class A and B. And that's why their state championships at the Big House are always a week earlier than the rest of the classes. Which is why, like the 2020 season, which obviously we all hate, the season got cut short, didn't get to see. A and B did finish their seasons. They crowned champions.
That's what I always remember. That's always what cues me to that. Oh, yeah, they finished earlier because they got done.
Yeah, A and B, their season was over. I actually called, I think, maybe a Class A or championship or something like that. Shot goes, makes a 31-point lead for OCS, just down in the final 45 seconds. Just kind of going through the motions here, finishing this up. Jones will fall to 11-8. OCS goes to 17-4. And a nice turnover here forced by Connor Owens. We'll talk about what these teams have next on their schedules, and we'll, of course, like I said, talk about their playoff situations in the district round in the post-game wrap-up. So stick with us, as it looks like OCS is content to dribble this out and go home with a 31-point win on their home floor. Really decisive and good win for OCS against a Jones team that was game for this and was right in it for a long while. But OCS too good in the second half. Saints win it 74-43. Go to 17-4. Jones falls to 11-8. All right, we'll take a final timeout here. And we'll come back, and Jordan and I will wrap things up from OCS in Edmond. Stick with us. Good stuff coming up on the other side of this break on the Oklahoma Sports Network.
We come from different backgrounds with diverse interests and unique learning styles. Finding classes that fit your individual needs isn't a challenge at Cameron University. A small campus and dedicated faculty ensures there's always someone close by to guide you on your journey. Your success is our success. Your education is our mission. At Cameron University, you're not a number, you're part of the family.
Coast Coast Technology Group is your full IT managed service provider, utilizing simple, reliable technology for your home and business. Remote monitoring and management, network infrastructure, and cybersecurity, all with 24/7, 365-day live support. When you partner with CTG, you get the 150 years combined experience of our experts, helping your business grow while keeping your systems secure.
Back here at Oklahoma Christian School, where things are emptying out after OCS dominates Jones in the second half, 74-43. The game was a 9-point margin at one point early in the third quarter. Didn't end that way at all, as the Saints run away with it. Luke Gray was an absolute monster underneath. Thrilled to see what he's going to look like in 2 years' time. Jordan, you mentioned that. Just a sophomore. I mean, fantastic to see what he can look like. And you know, we talked about it a little bit there before in the game, obviously, when it was in hand, but it seemed like Jones was right in this game, but the fouls hurt him a lot in that first half. That big technical sequence was a killer. They never really got all the way back into it after that, and OCS got hot from deep, and that was kind of it.
Yeah, the three-point barrage by OCS after making, I'm pretty sure, none in the first half, just swung everything. But Jones could have been in a better position to deal with that, but they just weren't. You know, they were without May for a while in the first half, and that just killed them on the defensive glass. And they were not converting nearly enough around the paint on their end. And so that combination made you think that they should have been a lot closer than what they were to OCS, and that these were two teams that were really close to even. And then once the three-point barrage started by the Saints, the Longhorns just couldn't keep up, and it just snowballed from there.
Absolutely, and, you know, we talked about it, but, you know, I'd be very interested for these two teams to link up again. Obviously, they're in different areas, 3 and 4, so it would have to be at the big house, but why not? I mean, OCS expects to be there. Certainly, if you're number 1, you expect to be there. Jones is number 12 right now. It's not as much of a given for them. They're going to have to beat good teams, but it certainly feels like they have the talent, you know, and the guys that they have, you know, Loud and May and, you know, Murphy, they have the talent, but they're going to have to obviously put things together a lot better than they did tonight. But it certainly feels like, you know the ceiling's pretty high for this Jones team, and if these two teams met again in Oklahoma City, I'd be game for it. I'd be very interested to see what could happen a second time around.
Yeah, I agree. I think there's some things Jones can do better if they were to face a rematch. It's just a matter of being a little sharper, and obviously they're limited with what they can do against Gray for OCS, but if May can stay out of foul trouble, and if they can convert a little bit more in points in the paint, then they can definitely make this a closer game.
Absolutely. So next up for Oklahoma Christian School, they have just 2 games left. They play Thursday night back here against Luther. The OSSAA website actually has that game listed as postponed, but I thought I heard the PA kind of plug it before we went, right at the end of the game there. I don't know if you caught that, Jordan, or not, but that's what's listed on their schedule, at least, is Luther coming here on a Thursday night. That will be their final home game of the regular season. I mentioned they play Bethany next Tuesday. That game's actually at Bethany. I thought that was here. It's at Bethany. That's a great game on paper. I highly recommend people look into that. That's going to be a fun matchup. Bethany, obviously a solid 4A club taking on OCS. That's next Tuesday at the home of the Broncos. I'm not sure where that game will be. I don't know if it's at SNU or what. Bethany's home gym this year got flooded, so they haven't played any home games at their actual gym, so I don't know where that game will be, but it's listed as a Bethany home game next Tuesday night. As for Jones, They'll be looking for a bounce back. They have Little Axe also on Thursday night. And there's a back-to-back. They'll play them at home. They'll play North Rock Creek at home the following night on Friday for wrapping up the regular season against a good Lincoln Christian team next Tuesday at home. So 3 home games to finish up the regular season for Jones. So that's what's coming up for both those teams. Interesting to see how they finish and what they can do in the postseason, obviously.
Yes, it will. And, you know, there's some really good basketball at these lower levels. I say lower levels.
Absolutely.
3A. You know, we've been able to do we're able to do Dale, watch them play.
That Dale team was rock solid. Could hang with a lot of teams, that 2A Dale team. So.
Yep, and they have. The amazing thing about them is how young they are. So, yeah, usually when you take on and watch the higher-ranked teams in 2A and 3A, you see teams that are very coached, very well coached, and you see teams that really have learned how to play well together. Something we haven't said enough about OCS. They played very well as a team, especially when they got the ball rolling in the second half. That's how they got those open threes.
Absolutely. So it was a fun one tonight. It was fun to be here. We want to thank, of course, Oklahoma Christian School and Coach Weaver helping us get set up. And, of course, thanks Jones for their cooperation as well throughout the week, helping us get some notes and rosters and things like that. It was a fun one. Another OSN game of the week in the books. Our hot streak of games right to the wire, overtime thrillers is over, but it was still a good time coming out here. Glad we did it. Good to see number 1 in 3-day OCS and a team that very well could be winning a championship this year. So
be sure to tune in at 6 on Friday for El Reno at Carl Albert for girls. That is 1 versus 2 out in 5A West.
Yeah, going to be some great basketball on Friday. El Reno and Carl Albert, and of course lots of other games on the Oklahoma Sports Network. Be sure to keep up with the Facebook page. And again, OKSportsNet.com and the OSN app is one of the best ways to keep up with it as well. All the scheduled broadcasts are right there when you open up the app. It's not hard to find. So if you want to know what's coming up, download the OSN app. It's right there for you. And, of course, it's on Roku, Amazon Fire Stick, or Apple TV. And if not all the broadcasts, a lot of them are also available on our Facebook page, Facebook Live as well. We're going to have tons of action in the postseason coming up. So be sure to keep up with us. Lots of good basketball. Jordan, I enjoyed it, my man.
All right.
Another one in the books. OCS wins it 74-43. Go to 17-4. Jones falls to 11-8. Jordan will be at Carl Albert El Reno on Friday. He'll see you then. I'll see you sometime in the postseason. That's it for now in the OSN Game of the Week. We'll catch you next time. For Jordan Ray signing off, I'm Josh Calloway. Good night, everybody.